Greetings P32 crew, it's your boy Ian Higton here, and I'm about to go on a massive rant because I think AI is bullshit. Or at least the human beings out there controlling the direction it's currently heading in are. We could have probably used it to cure cancer by now, or, I don't know, worked out a formula for distributing a fair share of food to everyone in the world with 0% wastage so that struggling families could use it to fill their kids rather than corporations using it to fill their bins. But no, instead of using it to create a utopian society, mashed potato-brained corporate trend chasers are using it to put the people with actual talent out of jobs so that their faceless shareholders can continue feeding their egos by shopping at Prada for another handbag that they don't fucking need. All while the basement-dwelling incel army that Elon Musk has been training up since he twisted Twitter into whatever hellish thing it is now, uses it to Photoshop tits onto unwilling participants as they scratch their unwashed groins and ask Grok if everything that I just said is true. It's fucking true. And exactly what does all of this bollocks get us, the gaming community? Well, thanks to these skyrocketing RAM prices caused by their AI companies gobbling it all up to feed their server farms and data centers, it gets us price hikes for current consumer technology. For example, 32GB of DDR5 RAM for PCs has increased from around £88 a year or so ago to, at the time of recording this video, a whopping £349.99. This shortage of RAM has already caused Valve to announce a delay for its Steam machines, and now Sony is reportedly looking to push back the launch of the PS6, and Microsoft and Nintendo are eyeing price hikes for their already expensive existing consoles. And this leads me to the topic of this unhinged rant, and the ultimate endpoint for this cascade of greed-induced insanity: the dawning of an unfathomably unaffordable next generation of gaming. Now listen, I know that everyone gets properly excited when there's the prospect of a new console generation on the horizon. Despite how young I look, I've actually lived through a couple of these moments myself, so I understand the buzz, I really do. But if the next console generation brings with it a price tag that means I can't afford to eat for a couple of months if I buy one, well, that kind of ruins the thrill a bit. In fact, as the cost of living continues to increase, along with the cost of games and other forms of modern entertainment, I struggle to see how the majority of the upcoming gaming audience could even begin to consider forking out for a PS6 or an Xbox, whatever the stupid name they call it on the launch days, unless they decide to sell a kidney or something. But, because I'm awesome and stuff, I'm here to offer you an excellent cost-effective solution to this very problem, which you can all thank me for later. And that solution is, as you've probably guessed from the title of this video, retro gaming. And I'm not talking about the current retro scene, mind, which is already enjoyed by video game collectors and older gamers as a form of nostalgic entertainment. Oh no, that scene has its own levels of expense, with some games and systems from the 80s and 90s proving to be incredibly pricey themselves, mainly due to scarcity, import fees, or the fact that you'll need to pay through the nose for a bunch of optional bells and whistles like a Sony Trinitron TV to play them on, or a Kallax from IKEA to display them on. But despite the eye-watering prices that some old Nintendo carts can go for, getting into retro gaming doesn't have to break the bank. And in some cases, it could even be free. There must be plenty of teenagers out there whose parents have a PS2 or an OG Xbox plus a stack of games just sitting there in the loft in some old Tesco bag waiting to be discovered. There are some absolute classics on both of those platforms which still hold up to this day, and they are begging to be experienced by the people who missed them the first time around. Or how about Xbox 360s? That console is 20 years old now, so I'm pretty sure that means it's retro, and in my opinion, it's got some of the best games ever made on it. These are games that still look great to this day, and unlike the many generations before that, kids nowadays won't even need to work out what a SCART cable is or how to rewind a cassette tape in order to play them. You can connect a 360 to modern TVs with an HDMI cable and play all of its games in HD without the need for any extra SCART adapters or RF leads, and a lot of its games still support online multiplayer too. all without the need to pay for an online subscription service, I might add. There are people out there watching this video right now who weren't even born when the 360 first came out. Hello, you youthful bastards. But who are now in their late teens or early 20s. So, if that's you and your mum or dad has an old 360 in storage up in the loft, all you have to do is climb up and down the ladder and then head out to your local CEX with a fistful of pound coins, and you will soon be in gaming heaven. A lot of the 360's back catalogue currently costs a couple of quid each in CEX, so, as long as you can stand the pong, you could walk out of the store with a big pile of some incredible titles, all for the low price of one half of a modern AAA game. Singularity, Vanquish, Spec Ops The Line, Bioshock, the Halo series, The Darkness, Mass Effect, Crackdown, the list of bangers goes on. And then there's the early chapters of the series that you might not have gotten to experience, even if you've played the modern installments. GTA 4, the first couple of Assassin's Creeds, early Far Cry's, the original Modern Warfare, and Resi's 5 and 6. There really is a wealth of classics just waiting to be played, and because they're all boxed copies, you can even trade them back in again when you're done and use those proceeds to buy some more games. Honestly, it's about time the younger generation gets to learn about the benefits of physical over digital anyway. So, to boil it all down, instead of shelling out mountains of money for a new console in the future that, going by the underwhelming launch of the current console generation, probably won't give us that much of a leap graphically anyway, and we'll probably have a library that consists purely of shovelware AI slop at this rate, why not go back a couple of console generations instead to play some incredible handcrafted video games and find out why they're so highly regarded in the first place? If you're young, then, well, I have some excellent news for you. There is so much out there to catch up on. And if you're old, well, there's still time to go and pick up something that passed you by the first time around. Maybe you were a 360 kid, so you never got to try the PS3's library of awesome and now highly agreeably priced games like the Killzones or the Resistances or the Gran Turismos. There's only one overpriced generation of new consoles and PC builds on the horizon, but there are tens of console generations from the past that you can choose from. So don't let all these AI-propelled price hikes get you down. Just get into retro gaming instead. Your wallet will thank you, and you'll have an absolute blast at the same time. And now I will accept your thanks in the form of a like and or subscribe, preferably both, to Platform 32. Now Platform 32 has gone fully independent. I need all the subscribers and all the views that I can get my sticky little fingers on. And if you have enjoyed this video, then you can expect more of this and other things like unboxings, live streams, previews, reviews, and many more things that I can't think of off the top of my head right now. Then stick with me here on Platform 32. I really want to grow the channel and make it the next best place to be. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day. And remember, dig out those retro consoles. Goodbye.